And still some big fights forthcoming as we begin 2023 in our backyard, then go overseas to Dubai. And it's a night full of big-time special guests and a fan favorite set to return to the Trigon coming up next. That fan favorite was born in Boston. He lives here in Miami. He fights for the people. He is Isaiah Quinones.
My name is Isaiah, the People's Champ Quinones. At 15, I was a personal bodyguard and security for a prostitute house, escort house. It was confusing because I was very, promiscuous at a younger age and like seeing a lot of sex and stuff going in and out the house and just random guys coming in and girls and people working and stuff like that. You get dehumanized, like you start to feel desensitized almost, like nothing doesn't really matter. You don't trust anybody, you don't think anything anybody says is true. And she used to pay me with alcohol and weed. I needed money ASAP, and I couldn't keep sleeping on the beach and not eating properly and not feeling like a human being, because I didn't feel like a human being at one point. Personal security, bouncer, and entertainer for females. I needed money, I was homeless. Oh, just people, the way people look at you, the way people treat you, the way people talk to you. You going into places and you can't afford anything, not even a cup of water. I could sit here all day and talk about the story, but I mean, long story short, I just stopped feeling sorry for myself. Then from there, I just started working out on the beach, training and shadow boxing, and then, jogging up and down the beach, and then people just started recommending, hey, have you ever tried boxing or have you ever tried training? And, I got jumped a couple of times on the beach. I got beat up a couple of times by 3 or 4 people at a time, and I was just tired of it, bro. Well, bare knuckle has been similar to my life. It's been chaotic, it's been, adventurous, it's been bloody, it's been scary, it's been fun, it's been joyful, and I mean, bare knuckle helps me deal with life, and life helps me deal with bare knuckle. Oh, that he's a good athlete, that he has a lot of fights, and he's funny. He's a happy-go-lucky guy. He's happy all the time. I see him smiling a lot, and I like that, because I'm a happy guy. Every fight's as important as the next fight. Every day is important as the next day. But I like to take one day at a time, one fight at a time. Relax, to pace myself.
Paulie, if J.D. Burns defines BYB Extreme, then Isaiah Quinones gives us the big story and puts everything in perfect perspective, what combat sports can do to save one's life.
Yeah, I don't think a person in a normal situation chooses a combat sport. I think a combat sport ends up choosing you when life deals you a difficult set of cards. Most people will say what you want to do for a living. Even if they want to do a sport for a living, it's not usually a combat sport. Or if they're smart enough, or if they have the circumstances well enough, they'll go to school, go get a regular job. Quinones, combat sports found him.
It did indeed, and now he is entering the Trigon. Once again, 32-year-old Isaiah Quinones against 33-year-old, the man Blackie Chan, Trevor Ollison. Ollison has a 4.5-inch reach advantage. He did miss weight, but the battle will continue inside the Trigon after Big Mo brings our fighters into fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout of the evening is scheduled for 5 3-minute rounds in the super middleweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, please welcome to Trigon, Trevor Ollison.
The man, Blackie Chan. After his last fight, he said, I had one drink, then I went right to the treadmill. He trains on the construction sites in which he works, in restaurants in which he works. He finds time to train because he loves to compete. Home is where his heart is. 5 spectacular daughters, 11, 9, 7, 5, and 3 years old. 5-5 in mixed martial arts, 2 fights last calendar year. He talked to us in much more X's and O's during the fighter meetings this time about this being a chess match. You have to fight the toughest guys more often, and he considers the people's champ, Isaiah Quinones, one of the toughest guys out there. He is the man, Blackie Chan, Trevor Ollison.
And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, here is Isaiah Quinones.
Two-time knockout of the night winner. His greatest influences, Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson, the proud Puerto Rican from Boston. Had his Patriots hat on yesterday. I let him get by with it. I didn't say anything. It's all good. 4-1 inside the Trigon. 6 months between his appearances at BYB 7 and BYB 9. It has been 329 days since Isaiah has returned to fight. Had some food allergies and problems. Internally, he's got them fixed. His diet, he said, is where it needs to be. He said his drive, mentally and physically, is better than ever.
Yeah, and he looks the part as well. You know, sometimes you get that food poisoning, or he said it was part of the diet from when he was homeless, got himself back together, and he's ready for the action.
Official introductions from Big Mo.
Ladies and gentlemen, this super middleweight bare knuckle contest is scheduled for 5 3-minute rounds and is brought to you by the Business Capital Providers. Our referee in charge when the bell rings, Christopher Young. Let's meet the fighters. First, fighting out of the blue corner. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall. He weighed in at 171 pounds. He comes to us with an undefeated bare knuckle record of 1 victory versus no defeats. And he fights out of Malvern, Arkansas, introducing Trevor, the man, Blackie Chan Ollison. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. He stands 6 feet 1 inches tall. He weighed in at 166 pounds. He comes to us with a bare knuckle record of 4 victories versus 1 defeat. And he fights out of Miami, Florida. Introducing Isaiah, the People's Champ, Quinones.
And look who has joined us in the broadcast booth, the
Mike,
Diesel.
How are you, Mike?
I am good, my friend. How are you, Shaq?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Is this Paulie Maggiano next to me?
It is. This is Maggiano. This is Paulie.
Hey, it is Paulie. What's up, baby?
What's up, champ? What's going on?
Because I was looking, I was like, that looks like Paulie Maggiano. You know, I never wanted to be like that. Pleasure to meet you, sir. Let me tell you something, Mike. You know, in combat sports,
Yeah, you do.
this is incredible.
It is.
This is incredible.
And this is the perfect fight for you to join us, Shaq Diesel, because Isaiah Quinones is a veteran, and you can see he throws with reckless abandon. Puerto Rican from Boston, now lives in Miami, and Trevor Ollison might have the best nickname, Shaq. He is
Blackie Chan.
Yeah, the man, Blackie Chan.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the hometown fighting right, because
right.
we all know, Paulie knows to fight in front of that home crowd. I know, you know, you've been in a lot of fights. When you're here and you got the home crowd behind you, whether it's small or whether it's big, You want to put on a show.
That's true.
And he's coming with the jab right now.
Yeah.
I tell you, Ollison held up well with that right hand. I've seen. And he gets the knockdown.
Was that a slip?
Man, Blackie Chan. Check hook.
Was that a slip or was that a knockdown, Paulie?
Check left hook.
Okay.
Check left hook. That's a check left hook.
You know what? Thank you for the boxing terminology.
That's a hook on the back foot. You use the other guy's momentum.
I'll tell you what, Shaq. If you want to learn about this sport, you're sitting next to the best right there in the Magic Man, Paulie Malignaggi. He breaks down boxing brilliantly, and I get to work with him here and on Pro Box.
I'll tell you, Quinones is still hurt.
Yeah, he's hurt.
Now he's hurt bad. He's hurt bad now.
I'm a fan of all athletes, especially competitive athletes. You know that, but
I tell you,
Paulie's a champion. Let me talk, Paulie. I'm talking about you. Paulie's a champion. He's a class act. I love the way you talk about boxing. I appreciate you. I'm sorry I didn't recognize you because I never met you in real life.
No, it's all good.
So I just want to say it's been an honor to watch you do what you do. In the ring and out of the ring. Class act. I love you. And Mike knows me. I love this kind of stuff. I always consider these athletes, boxing in that category, you guys are the best athletes in the world. No disrespect to football and basketball, but to come out here, especially bare knuckle, and take this, and they got a new one on the horizon called slap fight. You see that one?
I did.
I didn't even fight. Let's sit there and take it.
Yeah, so this stuff right here, I'm here in Miami for a couple days. You know, a friend of mine, Big Dada, you know, he wanted me to come and check it out. This is awesome. Mike, pleasure to see you here, brother.
It's my pleasure to see you.
See that check left hook shot?
I did see that.
That was the check left hook. There's another look here. You're going to see Quinones try to fly in, and Ollison's jump.
Okay, yeah, I saw it. There you go.
On the back foot as he stops stepping out. And he's got it. And then you can see Quinones hurt. And mind you, Ollison, the second knockdown was bad. Quinones never really recovered. And I'll tell you, Ollison came back after a fast start by Quinones. Quinones usually has those fast starts and gets you out of there, but Ollison got through that wave of a rough patch of a tough start and then had the check hook knockdown and then finished the fight off with this beauty of a combination.
Can I ask you two guys a question?
Of course.
We love the sport. How is this safe? The correct word. Because we're used to boxing gloves, you know, the different ounces, and then the MMA gloves. I thought I read a study where they said this is pretty safe.
Yeah. I'll tell you how it's safer, because boxing gloves, they're too small to pad up the guy's hand from being damaged. They're got just enough padding for a guy's hand not to be damaged, but they're too small to prevent the damage to the other fighter. So if you start to overwhelm a guy with heavy shots with 8-ounce boxing gloves or 10-ounce boxing gloves, it's a lot of damage, and you can keep loading heavy shots with those because your hand is protected. With bare hands, your hand starts to hurt. So you can't load up on it as much and as often. And plus, the cuts in this sport will end the fight pretty soon, much sooner.
Thank you for clarifying that, because us three sitting up here, this clip is going viral.
Oh, you got that right. You got that right. Let's let Big Mo
it's bloody,
tell us
but
about
it's
Trevor winning.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Christopher Young calls a stop to this contest at 1 minute, 35 seconds of the very first round, declaring your winner by TKO, the man, Blackie Chan, Trevor Ollison. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to come to both fighters. Isaiah, first and foremost, man, you've been a warrior for BYB. You got back in the Trigon after a little bit of a layoff. First and foremost, man, I know you're a fighter. How's it feel to be back in here and at least be able to scrap again?
Well, it's not about me, man. It's about the fans. Thank y'all for coming out. I appreciate y'all. And I have fun. Good time.
Now, obviously, we know you're a warrior. You want to get back in here again. I can see it in your eyes. Can we expect you back in the Trigon soon?
Absolutely.
So actually, you said it's about the fans. What can the fans expect from Isaiah Quinones next? That's a good answer for me. Thank you, Isaiah. Now, the man, Blackie Chan, possibly the best nickname in BYB, still undefeated. Make quick work tonight. How do you feel?
Man, I feel like, what is it, Dubai or Abu Dhabi? I keep getting confused.
It's Dubai, March 18th.
Don't y'all think y'all need me on that card? I think I need to be on that card going overseas.
Do you guys want to see the man Blackie Chan fight against Soon Miramar?
Yeah, it's better sooner than later, because later, you know, I'm trying to do some other things. So better. Sooner or faster we get me on the fight card, we get to do some things.
You're looking to possibly put a belt around your suit?
Man, it's whatever, bro. I don't care. We can take a belt, and I'll pretend like I don't have it. Just keep throwing me people, and I'll see what we got going. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure you have a great support staff. Anything you want to say to your friends, family, fans?
Only if y'all knew. Only if the fans knew. But, hey, thank everybody for tuning in. Keep following the journey. I got a lot of things coming up in the future, man.
Well, we're all excited to see it again. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for your victor, the man, Blackie Chan, Trevor Ollison.
Trevor Ollison, both men obviously classy in victory and in defeat. Diesel, you stay and call another one with us?
Yeah, I'm going to call another. You know how much I like challengers. I'm very upset right now.
Why?
They said he has the best nickname. If I was 10 years younger, the world would be introduced to Shaquille Gorilla.
Hey, I called Shaquille Gorilla.
Don't you say that name.
No, but I called a fight with him. Yeah.
You can't say that. You can't say that.
I used to watch Magilla Gorilla, the cartoon.
Shaquille Gorilla.
Shaquille Gorilla. When we come back.
I'm telling you now. Big Dada, are you lucky?
Ryan Jett, Angel Hernandez with Shaquille Gorilla on commentary. This is the one, the only BYB Extreme coming to you tonight from South Florida. The Magic Man, Shaq Diesel and Goldie.